It's a pleasure to be here again.
No, I hope everybody's having a good week out there. We live, QX? Okay. So we've had a good week in the ecosystem. I don't know if everybody saw the blog post. We haven't had the Twitter go live yet, but we're going to start another community event around fundraising for an exchange. This time, MEXC is going to be the exchange, so there'll be a raffle up. And I really hope that we see some contribution for the community. There's a lot of people in the US that have been asking for that type of platform. So we have an opportunity, hopefully, in the span that runs, we're able to raise the amount of money that they requested in order to support our integration. That'd be cool to see. We had a great weekly dev update yesterday. Video will come out on Sunday. And yeah, there's just a lot of neat things happening in the ecosystem. So what's new on your end, Alex?
All right. So after the Maxi raffle, we can experiment with more exchanges. Yeah, so also BitPanda listing is coming. Just a reminder. So yeah, I don't know. Is anything announced yet? Anyway, announcements.
Soon.
First of them will be made, yeah, in days now. No, not weeks even. What else? Good dev update and yeah, nice update from Spectrum guys. I'm talking about Spectrum Bloom white paper. They also had Twitter Spaces event just recently. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to join it. Yeah, so for the not releases, so 5.14 was released on Monday, and more releases are coming. So I'm thinking to have maybe kind of two roadmaps. So for next minor releases, a few of them, and then yeah, for major updates as well. A lot of progress everywhere from what I've seen, and yeah, so we are waiting for new launches, right? So yeah, there was a tweet recently from Glasgow with ETAs, known ETAs for some projects, and so yeah, we are waiting for a bunch of projects actually, and also a new Ergo hack was announced 7th, right? So yeah, running fast and have 7th Ergo hack. Everyone, welcome. The some ideas probably published before. Let's see. So yeah, discussing some it is here to publish digital finance. Yes, for example, as Bruno has some idea as well, and so yeah, a lot of things going shut.
Yeah, it's been a busy week. I'm pretty excited. I know that the Rosen team is putting together their kind of initial cohort of watchers on Cardano. The goal there is to create educational content for everybody else. It is ultimately a open source and permissionless activity, watching chains on the Rosen framework. But I'm really excited to start working with people talking about kind of the potential, economic use case there, and helping, the team refine some of the properties of the bridge. It's important that we get feedback from people that will be operating long term.
Yeah, and there are some new good discussions forum. So, for example, Ilya Spectrum started a topic on Spectrum Bloom. So please join this. And I will post more. So it's finalizing some new design. I will post on the phone. Once I'm sure that the things are not at least trivially broke. But so a lot of new design hopefully coming as well.
Yeah, I was happy to see Bloom.
Not just Spectrum Bloom.
And I've always thought that that type of composable liquidity should start to show up in extended UTXO, right? To where I guess to some degree, if you batch things properly, that idea of what pool you're drawing from should kind of disappear on the user side, right? And then it's just a matter of kind of getting the best price efficiency available. I think that'll show up pretty quickly in Ergo, considering Spectrum is the main DEX, right? I'm not sure, how that will be integrated in Cardano, because, I guess there needs to be multiple parties integrating that same standard. But, it's kind of interesting to think that, because Ergo is smaller, as the ecosystem grows, I think that'll be easier to plug in. So
yeah,
why don't
also there are some discussions, chats, and announcement is coming on first batch of tokens into the Ergo fund. And well, there will be more announcements future about more tokens. So yeah, this is getting better for the foundation. And as there so the foundation added actually pretty significant chunk on top of and raffle, and the same will be with T raffle. Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited to see the community come together
It's
for that type of thing.
Yeah, good to have more funding, and yeah. Well, listings. So yeah, definitely. The new listings just started, and let's see how possible. So still, there is turmoil around many exchanges. It's including biggest ones. So yeah. Then lot of uncertainty, but let's see what's possible today.
Yeah, I mean, there's always some element of drama with the large exchanges, it seems, but yeah, we do live in certain uncertain times, right? So, hopefully we get clarity long term. That's something that kind of we're always hoping for, but there's always a lot of noise in this space. I think the best thing we can do at this point is really focus on building. And there's a lot of that going on in the ecosystem. I'm really excited for this Ergo hack. I think there's going to be a lot of neat solutions that come to the table. All right.
Right. So let's jump on the questions.
All right, let's jump in the questions. It looks like first we got a question from Just a Little Better. Says the BitPanda listing Ergo raffle was successful. Does this guarantee a listing on BitPanda? Is it as straightforward as paying a fee? Yeah, for the most part, that's what exchanges want, is money. in terms of the actual underlying technology or use case, that's really hit or miss in this space. You can look at a lot of the listings, especially when it comes to like ERC20s. They basically have a playbook for integration, so the overhead and integration time is really, really minimal. And so it's kind of, you pay and you play. I think that like long term,
Yeah,
that's a terrible
yeah.
model.
But yeah, it's not bad actually. So it's Panda actually so some due diligence that
Yeah, they
was
did good.
the ref. So yeah, the poll was actually started other things. So yeah, due diligence done, and yeah, in regards with tech aspects of integration, Panda is actually not an exchange; it's a broker, right? So it's fiat for like 20 countries, mostly in the EU. So yeah, taking liquidity from other exchanges. Yeah, there is really technical, right?
Hmm.
Uh, in regards with operations. So that's it's like adding new pair to files or something, I believe. So very minimal. And yeah, there will be joint marketing, right? So maybe most of ERCs will be on joint market efforts. Well, hopefully more recognition, Ergo,
Yeah, it is exciting to see
around
bank rails.
BitPanda users. So yeah, let's.
Oops. Sorry, we got a little bit of a lag going on. Yeah, no, it's exciting to see bank rails for people in the EU specifically. If you look at a lot of what exchanges or brokers offer, that's net unique. Usually, it will come down to either kind of payment rails where it allows users to more easily come out of the traditional systems or move back into traditional banking systems, and then on the other side, I would say, it's a matter of order book depth and usually, like KYC, uh, free environments or different exchange tools. So it's exciting to see. Yeah, it is true that, BitPanda did reach out and they actually did quite a bit of due diligence, which is nice to see. Unfortunately, in our space, for the most part, that's kind of an outlier, but I don't know. I kind of always hope, anyway, that when markets are in rougher time, people start asking better questions. It is true that when things are kind of hot, that type of due diligence and critical thinking can kind of go out the window, so to speak. But I do think that we get better questions in bear markets, generally speaking. All right. Looks like we have a question from QX. Any of you joining a team or entering Ergo Hack? So, Alex, you got any intention to spin up a project in Ergo Hack?
Let's see. So, yeah, there are some ideas. So maybe publish the forum, and yeah, then hopefully someone will. I can even maybe organize some for implementation. So, well, the apps will also provide some revenue, right, for developers. Is my sound good? So
Yeah,
getting a mess about unstable. Yeah,
yeah,
we
you're a little bit
finish some
laggy on my
process.
end.
Yeah. So probably I have some greedy processes. Okay. So
No, I don't know. On my side, I could always try to spin up a project for Ergo Hack. Um,
should be better now.
yeah, there you go.
Yeah, so maybe yeah, the be some chain cache related rules to implement. I'm also talking with Anon Real auction coin implementation. And Bruno actually new even variant for the coin design, so it will be proposed for the Ergo hack as well. And so on. So just well, yes, already somewhere. It would be enough, right, for hackathon. And yeah, so personally, be happy also to help with some stuff, or maybe do own project. Let's see.
Yeah, last time I submitted a project Ergo Hack, I didn't finish. It got like last place, so it's only up from here, right? Let's see.
Yeah, for yes, so a new organization now established, and new folks joined development. Well, this took development oriented towards TCIPs, so yeah, chain improvement proposals. Well, the very basic initial contracts will be described in CC0, right? And after that, there will be more variants like sub token, maybe yeah, some new feature like demo even and so on, right? And there will be in separate CCIPs, and then yeah, chain cash payment server will be able to support different CCIPs. So yeah, basically support different motors, right? Which is quite interesting. So that's like yes, so having individual freedom, right? About raising money and so I'm manifesting trust about via config. And yeah, well, in regard core development, maybe something will be for the Ergo. Right, because yeah, the actually proposals still raw, but yeah, would be enough for so not big, but also small.
All right. Let's see. Looks like we have a question from Dan Bond Dude on Telegram. Says, given the current price of ERG, how is Ergo network security looking? Is the hash rate okay? Well, the hash rate always does adjust based on profitability, right? You have people coming and going. And sometimes, the miners do well, actually, when price is action is not so positive, right? Those two are not always correlated. So profitability sometimes actually improves as people, kind of sign off or point their rigs elsewhere. But that's part of the, I don't know, inherent nature of proof of work, right? is that even when the price action may be positive, you may have miners joining, and so then shares and payouts actually get less. So those two don't necessarily track each other. It's something that I would have to hop on and send some messages out to see how everybody's doing in terms of the profitability of their setup. And there's mining is a complex business, right? You got your input costs, your carry costs, and then that's different from person to person. You have your efficiency, and then you have this idea of kind of hash migration, right? People are joining kind of the mining game, and some people are basically outside of their profitability. Some people are spec mining. There's a lot of variability there. But it is one of the cool things about proof of work is to watch that game. One thing I do really appreciate about proof of work is there's a lot less politics. And when you get into like proof of stake, usually there's a lot more politics and complex governance. And I guess that like net long term, that does show up a little bit. But one nice thing about miners is they tend to kind of have their rigs up, and that's that, right? There's not as much noise and infighting. And maybe long term we could get to like the Bitcoin situation where when we have proposed changes that are somewhat controversial, the noise picks up. But yeah, it's generally kind of nice being on the proof of work side. What's your take, Alex?
Yeah, for work also, well, network hash rate is some of variants in the behaviors, right? Especially if you're talking about GPU mining, right? As when it comes to smalls. So it's for them, as far as I know, to split hash rate. So to spend be most of rate for something up of that site what to write. And then the rest 30%, maybe it's what's called speed of mining, right? So something with biggest volatility, actually with I hope to have a big pump, and then there are some miners who are mining for fun, right? There is, for example, one rig list I know run by Zebipos guy, and all profit is coming to buy e-post. And so there are some dedicated miners, right? Which in Erg because of patterns, right? So as far as I know, it's using or right, not memory, vice versa. I've forgotten actually. There are miners usually our Raven coin, for example, because Raven coin is doing GPUs much faster. And so, yeah, a lot of questions, a lot of, individual process, a lot of sovereignty. That's why, actually, it's so for work.
All right. Looks like we have a question from FC Kushti. How was the trip to the Middle East? Any news that came from that or connections that will develop down the road? I know you went to Lebanon. You want to give us an overview of what that was like?
Actually, well, pretty nice coins. Yeah, in place invited to Middle East events. So thinking joins them such as Riyadh maybe. So it will be what on early October, something like that in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Yeah, in regard with actions and everything. So yeah, so some nice actions, also some good observations. Well, in regards with how crypto is used for payments, international transfers, and so on there. And yeah, it's getting steep because, I already described in for AMA, traditional financial system is pretty much dysfunctional there
Yeah, sad but
in
true.
Lebanon.
I'm not sure if you froze on my end. You want to go to the next question, Alex?
Yeah. So it was good. My side, at least
All
video
right.
also.
So next we have a question from Sam Lambert. He said, can you talk about Rosen and the opportunities to integrate some other DeFi tools already available on Ergo? What are some of the plugins that excite you? Well, one thing that I think would be really neat to see, uh, if you were to take, let's say, Rosen and say it's more developed and we have liquidity, right, coming in, would be a stablecoin front-facing wallet that used, Babel boxes to actually pay for transaction fees and had mixer support, right? It'd be even, I'd say even cooler if you had, let's say, Sigma join developed to where you had outsourceable mixing. So for the user side, you had this wallet that, was, stablecoin based, whatever that is, usually kind of the fiat equivalents, right? So people are most used to. And so you could look at that and see the fees that you're paying, and they actually come from the Babel box, and you send it in a way that is private. I think that would be really cool to see as a simple tool. It does potentially connect all of our ecosystem tools to assets that get wrapped. So, mixing becomes a possibility, and having pairs on Spectrum or SigmaFi or Sigma O or all of the other DeFi tools out there would be awesome. But yeah, long term, I would love to see that type of simple stablecoin based wallet that actually gave users pretty good assumptions with privacy, and they could pay fees from stable coins. I know that's something that is talked about a lot in the space, because it is a very interesting use case for kind of decentralized networks. Unfortunately, a lot of stable coins have this freeze, blacklist in some cases, and it's not so in alignment with this idea of self-sovereignty. Usually that's kind of ignored, sadly. But you know, it would be nice to see better stable coins in terms of like the first principles, where you know your self-sovereignty, self-custody, and then you know build privacy on top of that. And I think that there's a huge use case there. What about you, Alex?
Yeah, agree. And also, Rosen will more collateral to Ergo DeFi. So pools on dark pools, for example, more backed by stable coins and bitcoins, for example, right? X and so on SigmaFi. And yeah, more immediately on Spectre and so on, right? So so well, currently liquidity Ergo DeFi is totally kind of internal product, right? So you have Erg and you have CQSD, which is a stable price Erg native instrument, basically. Right, kind of, and other coins such as Dexy and Gluon coming, so that would be same. And so then yeah, it's a bit limit, right? Even amounts of uh, and amount of collateral, and with breach, so you will influx liquidity from side, so Bitcoin, ADAS, USDT, so central stable coins. So yeah, more liquidity, and yeah, with it can do what's right. So I have another for about the only wallet, and Lebanon going the east, so discussed, and well uh it was met the idea of USD only one, right? So more all folks on the streets, they don't understand all crypto, right, at all. So even if you ask, you see, for example, a possibility, a sign which is stating a possibility to pay in USDT, right? So, cashier usually doesn't know if it's on Tron or not, or ERC USDT, right? So that even that is too complex usually. And yeah, mostly if you are scanning a QR code, right? So that's the only thing cashier can provide, and now, so then yeah, you realize that it's actually some Binance BNB stuff. Then not BNB, Binance chain, right? How's it called? Smart chain.
Yeah,
Yeah, so then it would be nice to have just wallets where you have some magic crypto dollars, right? And you pay fees in those magic crypto dollars, and that's it. So all the complexities should be hidden. Even yeah, Ergo network, bill fees, and so on. So
yeah.
yeah, ordinary cash in roots. Wouldn't understand all those things. usually. Then some magic crypto dollars wallets. That's it. Would be beneficial. And then yeah, it could be under the hood CQSD or centralized options, right? Maybe some bridge to Tron or whatever chain is now the most popular around guys who are cashing out crypto. Right, so yeah, usually, well, it's still Tron, I believe, but yeah, fees are going up there. So maybe, well, those guys will switch to some other chain. Well, they don't even care about centralization and so on, right? So, well, they can use EOS and some other centralized pseudo blockchain just to pay zero fees for transferring USDT. So yeah, well, a lot of complexities should be hidden to have real world impacts.
Yeah, I'm definitely on board with you there. Speaking of that, looks like we have a question from Brandon Bourne. Chainlink seems to be in partnership with everyone for use of their oracles. Will Ergo ever do the same? Well, Ergo is more of a network and Chainlink is more of a company, right? I think that's a good place to start. A lot of what happens on Chainlink is just secured by multi-sig. So they're kind of in a position of power to, be able to go and make, private partnerships. Ergo is more of a network, right? In terms of the Oracle operators, V2 is in development. I think we'll see that live, soon TM. And that network of operators certainly has the ability to, it's kind of jointly collaborate, create partnerships, sell data feeds, independently of, the Argo Foundation or any other entity. And because it's open source, you could have a brand new set of actors that decide to spin up Oracle pools and provide some service that's available that they can partner with anyone. So it's important to recognize that, on one hand, you got kind of a entity that operates as a company. And then on the other hand, you have something that operates as a network with open tools. So I would say, can that exist on Ergo? Yeah. If there's an opportunity or an idea there, everybody is free to take the tools that we build and create that type of business arrangement. But, if you look at it from like this idea, okay, we're partnering with the Bitcoin network. No, it's a permissionless protocol, right?
Yeah, so Chainlink seems to be a champion in partnerships. Pretty much like Yota back in 2017, 18, when Yota made a partnership with like everyone. So some German car manufacturers, I forgotten, Mercedes or BMW. Then some universities. And from folks there, well, I know that the stuff is not quite real. I mean, so that's the partnership is just some MOU. Back to these days. So, well, I don't know. So I can sign a partnership with Chainlink manager. Some MOU supposedly, but what does it mean? So that would be complete nonsense, right? Because, well,
Non-enforceable agreement.
yeah, the Ergo is a network, right? And so DeFi on the network is not controlled by me, right? So, well, the dark pools, for example, can use any oracle they want. I don't even know what they are using actually. Probably Spectrum, but yeah, I'm not really sure about that even. And so on. So then, yeah, well, others like Spectrum and yeah, Sigma and other projects. So I have zero stake there, right? Zero control also basically. So then this partnership with Chainlink would mean pretty much nothing, just some kind of marketing hype-ish thing. That's it.
All right. Looks like we have a question from Amoeba. It says, will Gluon be an additional stablecoin, or will Sigma USD be updated? So the goal, as far as I know, is currently we're going to have a new stablecoin that's called Sigma Gold, right? And it'll be tied to gold, and that'll create an interesting idea where you have DEXI and then another stablecoin, that represents the same asset that can kind of trade off of each other, and that will give us the kind of data real world testing needed before we could consider updating Sigma USD. Those of you that do kind of pay attention, Gluon is kind of a newer iteration of the AgeUSD protocol, which Bruno came out with. I know that there's been multiple instances, whether it's Jet on Cardano, there might be one on Melcomita and other ones. I'm not tracking them, to be honest. So you kind of have updated parameters. It closes some of the weaknesses of the AgeUSD protocol, and so it'll be pretty exciting to see how that does in the wild. And it gives us feedback, right? It would be a terrible idea just to say, hey, let's update SigUSD right away, right? If it does prove to be more resilient, that's an option, and I would say, best case would be we actually get rid of governance if we do that upgrade. Burn the update tokens and let the contract be kind of immutable. What's your take, Alex?
Yeah, so in the first place, well, I'm reading the internal group, and well, the implementation is going, so that there could be an impression that yeah, after the Ergo Summit talk, there is no any work on that. But yeah, actually, well, there are repositories, maybe private. I'm not sure about that even. And yeah, there is work going on. So, well, I have zero stake and zero control there, so I'm not going to announce anything for them. But yeah, the work is going on. That's the thing which I can say. Then yeah, it's will be Sigma Gold, right? And well, after extensive real world testing, maybe CQSD will be updated. And yeah, so well, for DEXI Gold and SIG Gold, it also will give opportunity to Spectrum guys to well test stable pools. As far as I know, they even have implementation of stable pools. So well, now they need for different tokens representing the same assets, and well, Dexy Gold and Sea Gold is a good candidate. But yeah, with Rosen, there also will be different kinds of dollars right? So coming from Cardano and then other blockchains and CQSD, for example. Right. So yeah, well, it's multi-dimensional story, right? So there is also spectrum side. Yeah.
All right, looks like we have a question from Blue Watch. It says, looking to create an NFT. Does Lethos help with that? No idea how to start with creating one. Thanks for all the work. So if you wanted to create an NFT, I'll give you 4 ideas, okay? The first is there's a website out there called Ergo Tutorials that's put up by a community member, LatoPixel, which has basically a lot of video content in multiple languages that kind of takes new users through basic tools. You could also reach out to Auction House, Sky Harbor, or we have this tool, Lilium, that all are kind of in the NFT arena. And looks like somebody dropped a link to Ergo Tutorials if you want to dig in on the private side. If you need some help, reach out to one of those 3. You know, a lot of great people out there that would be happy to kind of help out with that. All right, let's see. Joe, how was the Colorado event? Did you watch Dan's talk? Any connections or reignite old flames? So yeah, I did show up for Dan's talk where Zengate, they had a presentation and they kind of had their first live sale, where they sold some tea to a supplier, and yeah, it was really awesome to see. I was definitely spent a lot of time with kind of the Ergo people. Enjoy talking to MG Pi, about the network and tooling and how best to kind of improve things. The old flame side, yeah, I'm just gonna leave that private. But no, I had a good time. Rare Bloom is a fancy place. To be honest, if we ever had an Ergo event, I would like to see a much, much, much lower barrier of entry. The cost is beyond what most people in the general public pay, right? So it's kind of like networking for people that are already in the space. And I don't know that sometimes I like talking to people that are outside the blockchain industry, right? I think that usually at those type of events, those are the most interesting conversations to be had. So, I think that like on the Ergo side, yeah, I think it'd be really cool to, have some in-person meetups. And, if we did do that type of event, let's make it a lot cheaper and more accessible for the general public, right? Because those are ultimately the people that we need to build tools for if we're going to get, I would say this idea of mass adoption. I think a lot of that breaks down to what Alex was talking about in terms of, burying a lot of the complexities, giving a really simple, straightforward user experience to where, so easy grandma can do it, right? Next question. Joseph, have you ever thought of doing an AMA or get together with Charles to discuss crypto philosophy amongst other things? I know you're both in Colorado and would, something else. It depends. I mean, is that something that it's of interest? We've done videos. I know that we did a roundtable thing while Alex and him were in Dubai with Dan. I'm sure discussions are kind of ongoing in the future, but he's also juggling, 20 different things. So, something that I'm open to, but I think that, sometimes people see Charles as like a dependency or something to like leverage. And, he's a human being with his own time and limited energy and all that, same as everybody else. So, when he's on his AMAs, feel free to ask about Ergo if you want to. But, sometimes I think that people kind of look at him to save Ergo. And, then we get into this idea where, sometimes people say ridiculous things like, "Oh, we're a test net for Cardano," or whatever. Ergo is its own ecosystem. So to some degree, I think that as Ergo grows, it'll kind of have its own ecosystem, own reputation. I hope that as storage rent and a lot of our interesting capabilities with mixing come online, Ergo is sometimes it grows in the shadow of Cardano, which I think is a bit silly, but that's my opinion. What's your take, Alex?
So may try to have another round table around Cardano Summit, Dubai. So I will be there. And yeah, it would be good to have another round table. As well as round tables with other folks and communities for sure. So we had a round table with proof of work
Yeah, Flux, I think.
cryptocurrencies organized by Flux. Yeah, then yeah, would be good to have one with UTXO Alliance. So that would be about Cardano, Nervos, Bitcoin Cash,
Digibyte.
Digibytes,
Yeah, there's a couple in there now.
Alephium. Yeah. Yeah, it's always good to discuss different ideas with smart people.
Yeah, definitely. I got a question for you, Alex, if you're ready. I'm trying to understand the artificial economic intelligence paper that you wrote. What use case do you see for that technology or idea?
Oh, so it's more of a forum post, not a paper at this point. So yeah, it's not so concrete then. And yeah, it's also basically stating that instead of some general intelligence, right, which is hard to define, we can just have economic intelligence. So if some AI agent is able to survive, right, so to pay the bills, survive in economical sense, so to pay its bills for hosting and other stuff, like improving self, then yeah, it's then intelligent, right, in economic sense. And what are use cases that they are very broad, I think so. But yeah, maybe a little bit disappointing for human beings, right? So because such intelligence is actually would be oriented not on serving humans, right, but on survival in economic environment. So that is it good for humans or not? Hard to say actually. But at least, yeah, it would be motivating, right, for humans to be not just economic agents, but yes, that's something better.
Yeah, that's the truth. Well, I think QX is handling the back end for us, and he's got to hop off soon. So he's giving us the final warning. Anything you'd like to close with, Alex?
Right. So, yeah, thank you for your questions. So, let's continue our chats, and I will try to find time to answer on forum. And yeah, so for chats, there is some plan, but yeah, it will be announced later. So tomorrow there will be some joint MA with liquidity mining Yeah, but I forgotten details even. So yeah, I think it's announced, right?
Yeah, I saw something on Twitter. I gotta check the time.
Yeah, yeah. So I need
In
to
terms of
check.
my time zone.
I need to check details, but yeah, there will be some I made tomorrow. Then yeah, there will be more AMAs in early September to be announced soon. And then yeah, well, there will be a joint marketing campaign with BitPanda, which will include some AMAs, I guess. But yeah,
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah,
sure
I
about
think
it.
they're gonna try to put together kind of a package to help general users understand Ergo and what we're trying to do, which is cool to see. I'm excited to participate there. So I
All right.
hope everybody out there is having a good week. Looks like we're gonna, we should get news out about the new community fundraising for MEXC soon. The hackathon, hopefully people out there start thinking about that. We'll have the dev update on Sunday, and yeah, forward.
And yeah, more chats, MAs, and so on. So keep in touch.
Absolutely. Have a good one, everybody.
Bye, everyone.